Stop scrolling, pause for a second, listen closely, because what you're about to see isn't a pep talk. It's a blueprint, a psychological map to a version of yourself the world will fear but never manipulate. If you watch this till the end, your perception of people, power, and pain will change forever. I watched my best friend destroy himself being the good guy. He gave everything, forgave everyone, sacrificed his peace for people who didn't even remember his name. 3 years later, I saw him again. He wasn't broken, he was ruthless, and he told me something I'll never forget. The world didn't change, I did. I stopped being easy to break. That sentence cut deep because I realized it wasn't just his story. It was mine, and it's yours too. Right now, there are two versions of you. Version 1 explains, apologizes, tolerates, hopes people will change. You bend over backward to be understood, respected, loved, but the more you give, the less they see your value. Version 2 is silent, certain, untouchable. They don't argue, don't beg, don't chase. They remove without noise, without guilt. You've been living as version 1 for too long, and it's killing you. Soft where you should be sharp, kind where you should be calculated. Machiavelli once wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't talking about cruelty. He was talking about control, about knowing when to stop being the person who breaks for others. Today, I'll show you how to awaken version 2, the ruthless version, the one Machiavelli wrote about, the one people sense but can never manipulate. There are 8 shifts that separate these versions. Each demands a piece of your old self. Each feels like burning what once defined you. Stay until the end and you'll walk away unrecognizable. You'll stop seeking peace from others and start generating it from within. You'll learn the power of being untouchable because the world will break you unless you become ruthless. Before we begin, drop this in the comments. I will not break again. Shift 1. Stop giving yourself to the ungrateful. Your biggest weakness was never your heart, it was where you placed it. You've been bleeding energy into people who feed off your light, never return it. Helping, forgiving, explaining, hoping they'd finally see your worth, but they never do. Why? Because in the psychology of power, what's freely given is devalued. People instinctively equate generosity with inferiority. The moment they sense your need to be liked, they control you. Weakness is born not from failure, but from emotional dependence disguised as kindness. Machiavelli said, "Men are quicker to offend one who is loved than one who is feared." The ungrateful exploit your goodness because they don't fear losing it. They know you'll stay, they know you'll forgive. They know that no matter how badly they treat you, you'll rationalize it. That's not compassion, that's self-delusion. People remember pain, not kindness. They respect consequences, not explanations. Every time you tolerated disrespect, you trained them to see you as disposable. Every time you explained your worth, you confirmed you had to prove it. The good get broken first because they confuse kindness with harmlessness. The ungrateful are predators. They hunt your guilt. They twist your empathy into a weapon and stab you with it. Stop thinking you owe anyone loyalty just because you once cared. Your care is a privilege, not a right. Give it only to those who earn it. Detachment is defense. Indifference is revenge. Machiavelli warned, men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and covetous. Goodness without boundaries is a death sentence. Ruthlessness is not cruelty, it's correction. Stop rewarding betrayal with access. Stop answering every call. Stop forgiving every lie. Stop explaining your silence. The ungrateful panic when they realize they can't feed off your reactions anymore. That's when power shifts. You decide who gets your attention and who fades into irrelevance. Every ounce of strength poured into the wrong people is stolen from your future. Withdraw it, hoard it, rebuild it. Let them wonder what happened to your warmth. Some deserve your distance more than your devotion. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My kindness has limits. Shift 2. Turn pain into power. Pain is the purest teacher. It doesn't flatter your ego. It doesn't care about your excuses. It exposes you, strips you, burns everything weak inside until only the real you remains. The difference between the broken and the powerful isn't how much pain they felt, it's what they did with it. Weak people drown in pain, searching for fairness, thinking the world owes them healing. The ruthless know pain is currency. You either spend it building yourself or waste it complaining. Those who rise are strategic. They see betrayal, heartbreak, failure not as curses, but as lessons in control. Machiavelli said, "Never waste the opportunity offered by a good crisis." Pain shows exactly where your weakness lives. Every betrayal reveals who you trusted too easily. Every rejection exposes where you misplaced your worth. Every loss unmasks the illusion of permanence. Pain becomes a weapon. You sharpen your mind instead of breaking. Most cry to feel better. The strong reflect to get stronger. When hurt, they don't chase closure, they create power. They study enemies, analyze mistakes, turn heartbreak into discipline, disappointment into focus. That's Machiavellian resilience, using the world's cruelty as fuel, not chains. When life breaks you, it shows who you are without masks. Sit with it. Feel every ounce of the fire. Once you survive your own suffering, no one can control you with fear. Stop fearing pain and you become unpredictable. Unpredictability is power. Manipulation fails because you've faced worse and survived. Pain activates awareness, forces evolution, silences illusion. You see people for who they are, not who you wished they'd be. You move like someone already through fire and lived. That energy commands respect. Scars become armor, silence heavy, gaze steady. You cross from being shaped by pain to shaping others through it. The next time life hurts you, don't curse it, study it. Ask, what advantage is hidden here? Every agony carries a seed of dominance if you're ruthless enough to use it. Drop this affirmation in the comments, my pain builds power. Shift 3, kill the need to be understood. Stop right now, stop trying to explain yourself. Stop giving people the blueprint of your emotions, intentions, and truth. Most don't want to understand you. They want to categorize you, to dissect you, to find your weakness. The more you explain, the more ammunition you hand them. In dark psychology, understanding equals control. When someone knows your motives, they can manipulate you. That's why the ruthless stay silent. They let others guess, project, assume, and in that confusion they remain untouchable. Machiavelli wrote, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command, and to command you must never over-explain." Explaining is a defensive act. It reveals you still seek validation. Power doesn't justify itself, it simply exists. The most intimidating people are the ones who don't explain why they act, feel, or disappear. Their silence creates tension. That tension commands respect. The weak beg to be seen. The strong choose to be misunderstood. Every time you stop defending yourself, you regain control. Because control lives in restraint. Silence is not weakness, it's weaponized composure. It makes others nervous because they can't predict your next move. Uncertainty breeds caution, and caution respects dominance. Think of the most powerful people you've ever met. They weren't loud, they were composed. Their presence demanded attention, not because they shouted, but because they didn't need to. Every word they didn't say spoke louder than 1,000 justifications. You must become that presence. A mystery no one can fully grasp, a storm that doesn't announce itself. When someone tries to provoke you, let silence suffocate their ego. When someone misjudges you, let them stew in assumption. The truth is your weapon. Don't waste it proving your innocence. Those who need to understand you don't deserve to. Those who truly value you will never need an explanation. Power is not about convincing others. It's about becoming so self-assured that their confusion no longer matters. Once you kill the need to be understood, you finally understand yourself. Drop this affirmation in the comments, my silence speaks power. Shift 4, detach, don't beg. Begging is how the powerful become slaves. The more you chase what walks away, the smaller you appear to those who never intended to value you. Detachment is not coldness, it's control. It's the skill of walking away from anything that threatens your self-respect, no matter how much you wanted it. Attachment is dependence. Loyalty is strength. Most mistake the first for the second. The world has conditioned you to believe that fighting for people proves care. In dark psychology, the one who chases always loses. Begging for attention, love, closure broadcasts weakness. Weakness invites exploitation. Machiavelli wrote, "The one who is not master of himself cannot be master of others." When your emotions rule you, you are easy to control. The ruthless detach not because they lack emotion, but because they refuse to be owned by it. When someone pulls away, they don't argue or explain, they observe. When someone disrespects them, they don't plead, they vanish. Silence becomes their sword. Absence becomes their message. In a world built on emotional manipulation, detachment is the ultimate rebellion. It terrifies manipulators because it kills their power source, your reaction. Once you stop reacting, you become unreadable. And when you're unreadable, you're feared. Indifference burns colder than hate and lasts longer than love. When people can no longer predict your response, they lose control over your mind. That's when energy shifts. You stop waiting and start deciding. The ones who once ignored you start noticing your silence, because silence from a once reactive person is louder than any confrontation. Detachment gives you authority, the authority to walk away from chaos with your peace intact. Machiavelli believed control over one's emotions was the foundation of every successful ruler. Those who cannot detach are doomed to be controlled. The ruthless understand that not everyone deserves access, not every emotion deserves expression, and not every relationship deserves revival. You must learn to withdraw energy without announcement, close doors quietly, and make your distance feel like punishment. That is psychological warfare at its most elegant. The more you detach, the more power you reclaim. Peace is not found in connection, it's found in control. True strength is loving deeply yet walking away the moment self-respect is threatened. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care correctly. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose peace over people. Shift 5. Boundaries are your armor. Boundaries are invisible walls that separate power from chaos. Without them, life becomes an open field where anyone can take what they want and leave you empty. You've been taught that saying no is selfish, that setting limits makes you unkind. That's a lie. The absence of boundaries is self-betrayal. Every time you tolerate disrespect, forgive without consequence, or let people cross lines to keep peace, you surrender pieces of yourself. Weak men and women confuse tolerance with strength. The ruthless know better. A heart without armor is a target. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince who is not wise himself cannot be well advised." If you cannot guard yourself, no one will. The world doesn't honor openness, it exploits it. Those who smile at your kindness today will use your forgiveness tomorrow. That's human nature unchecked. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are gates protecting what's sacred inside you. They are clarity, not cruelty. And clarity terrifies manipulators because it removes leverage. In dark psychology, boundaries are weapons of control. Enforce them calmly, without guilt. Cut off access after betrayal. Your worth becomes non-negotiable. Forgiveness without consequences is submission. Mercy without structure invites chaos. Stop rewarding bad behavior with your presence. When you start protecting your space like a fortress, parasites vanish, noise fades, peace returns. Boundaries attract quality and repel corruption. They filter the loyal from the opportunistic, the genuine from the manipulative. They make presence earned, not available. The ruthless know kindness without defense invites destruction. They build walls not out of fear, but wisdom. The goal isn't to be liked, it's to be respected. Every boundary you set declares, "This is where my peace begins." Those who value you will never ask you to lower your armor. Drop this affirmation in the comments, "My boundaries protect me." Shift 6. Master the art of silence. Silence is the weapon, the powerful use when words lose value. Most fear it because it exposes lack of control. They talk to fill air, to prove confidence, to seek validation. Every unnecessary word you speak becomes ammunition for someone else's manipulation. The wise understand, in a world addicted to talking, silence is dominance. Machiavelli wrote, "Never reveal all your thoughts, for it makes you predictable and vulnerable." Once people read your emotions, they can calculate your reactions. Silence makes you unreadable. It builds mystery. It forces others to second-guess themselves. The quiet man in the room always holds more power than the one shouting for attention. Silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. It shifts control without confrontation. Say nothing and watch others reveal everything. Their insecurities, motives, weaknesses, they expose themselves trying to understand you. The ruthless use this to their advantage. Weak rush to prove points. Strong wait for the perfect moment to strike. Every pause in conversation increases authority. Every time you let others fill silence, they surrender information. Power thrives in perception. The less they know about you, the more they fear you. Silence creates tension. It makes others project fears onto you. Silence isn't absence, it's presence magnified. You don't need to shout to be heard. Restraint speaks louder than chaos. Loud people crave attention. Silent ones already possess it. History's rulers knew this. The less you reveal, the more they imagine. The more they imagine, the more they obey. Weaponize your calm. Use silence as language. When insulted, stay silent, watch them unravel. When provoked, give no reaction, let desperation expose them. Silence echoes louder than any argument. In stillness lies control. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does." The fool defends with words, the wise guard with quiet. Stop explaining, shift from emotional to strategic. Stop playing defense, start commanding. Power doesn't beg to be understood, it demands to be felt. Silence makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability breeds respect. Hold your tongue, hold your power. In a world of noise, the silent one becomes impossible to defeat. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence controls chaos. Shift 7. Become untouchable. The ultimate transformation. The final evolution begins when you accept one truth. The world will never treat you fairly. It will test you, betray you, push your boundaries, punish your patience. It will whisper lies disguised as friendship, opportunity, love, and trust. The weak break under this weight, the fearful crumble, the unprepared fade into the shadows. But the untouchable, they rise quietly, deliberately, like a shadow moving over a battlefield, aware of every move, every danger, yet untouched by it. Untouchability is not arrogance, it is sovereignty. It is the mastery of self in its purest form. Every insult that once wounded you becomes a lesson, every betrayal a blueprint, every failure a forge where your strength is tempered. The world cannot bend you when you've built your armor from fire, pain, and disciplined thought. You are no longer a reflection of other people's chaos. You are the axis around which control rotates, the still point in the storm. Machiavelli said, "He who is wise will be master of himself, for he who is mastered by others is never free." True mastery is not the domination of others. It is the complete command over your own mind, emotions, and energy. To be untouchable is to understand that love, approval, recognition, they are illusions, traps designed to tether you to others' whims. When you no longer depend on them, you reclaim your energy, the most precious currency you possess. This energy becomes a fortress. Every ounce you once wasted on people who didn't deserve it now strengthens the walls around your mind, your body, your strategy. Skills, patience, discipline, observation, and invisible authority are the bricks. Presence, calm, composure, and strategy are the mortar. You invest only in what builds permanence, not fleeting approval. You do not scatter yourself for temporary validation. You do not sacrifice calm for chaos. Emotion is no longer a reaction, it becomes calculated discipline. Anger measured, desire disciplined, fear irrelevant. Every decision, every response, every silence is intentional. Chaos may swirl around you, but it touches you like wind against a stone, felt, acknowledged, yet powerless to move you. Those who once assumed they could manipulate you sense the shift instantly. They cannot read you, predict you, or control you. Their panic, subtle or overt, becomes evidence of your dominance. Being feared is not about terror. It is presence, control, and awareness. It is the unspoken understanding in the minds of others. Crossing this person carries a cost. Untouchables do not announce power, they radiate it silently. People sense it instinctively. Some respect it, some fear it. No one can ignore it. Your presence, your gaze, your measured words, and carefully chosen silences communicate volumes. To become untouchable, you must first detach. Detach from validation, from expectations, from the need to be understood or loved. Every connection, every commitment, every relationship becomes a deliberate choice. Loyalty is no longer blind. It is a weapon, precise, measured, and used only when it serves your rise. Presence is no longer for approval. It is strategic, deliberate, calculated to assert dominance without noise. Silence is not emptiness. It is power. Every pause, every still moment, becomes a trap in which others reveal themselves while you remain untouchable. Pain and suffering, the very things most fear, become your allies. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every failure is analyzed, studied, and transformed into strategy. You no longer ask, why me? You ask, what is this teaching me about control, about dominance, about myself? Machiavelli wrote, never waste the opportunity offered by a good crisis. Every wound is a lesson. every disappointment a sharpening tool. The untouchable transforms suffering into advantage. Watch closely, the untouchable does not flinch at provocation. They do not react to insult, manipulation, or deceit. Their mind is a fortress. Every step, every choice, every withdrawal or engagement is intentional. They are unpredictable because they are untethered from external influence. And unpredictability is power's twin. It forces respect, instills caution, and paralyses manipulation. The untouchable moves with precision. Their reputation is not forged in noise or drama. It is crafted silently, built by consistency, integrity, and invisible authority. Every word they speak, every action they take is measured for maximum impact. Every silence is louder than 1,000 defenses. Every absence becomes a lesson for those who overstepped. Every interaction communicates, I am sovereign. I cannot be bent. I cannot be broken. This is where control is absolute. You no longer chase love, validation, recognition. These are irrelevant distractions. Energy becomes yours alone. Focus sharpens. Attention becomes a weapon. You give to those who earn it, withdraw from those who do not, and remain unattainable to manipulators. You are no longer part of their narrative, you write your own. Internal mastery breeds external influence. People respond to certainty, composure, and clarity. The untouchable does not react, they shape the environment. Fear, respect, and awe are byproducts of presence, not performance. The unworthy feel the cost of crossing boundaries. The manipulators sense the futility of provocation, and the world cannot leverage you because you hold the axis. Finally, the untouchable recognizes impermanence. Relationships, opportunities, respect, and status are all temporary. True power lies in what cannot be taken from you: self-mastery, composure, strategy, clarity. You anchor yourself internally, and no external circumstance can uproot that anchor. You are complete, whole, sovereign, untouchable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Nothing can break me. I am untouchable. The world will continue to test you. Betray, provoke, tempt, punish. But every trial is a tool, every betrayal a blueprint, every obstacle an opportunity. Untouchables are forged in fire, sharpened by strategy and shielded by self-mastery. Stand firm, walk with clarity, move without apology, command without announcement, rise without permission. You are no longer the version that bends. You are the version that rules. The one who moves unseen but dominates every space. The one who is silent yet commands attention. The one who is untouchable in every sense, because mastery over self is the only power that lasts. Hit like, share with someone who needs this blueprint. Subscribe for more dark psychology strategies. Drop your final affirmation, I am untouchable now.